Hey there, gorgeous human. How you be? Thank you for stopping by Big H Love with Robin R. Robinson. It's Friday, May 1st, May Day, and it is, what time is it? It is 11:51 Central Standard Time. I hope your week has been good and you're happy to be alive because the other option is not optimal and we want to be safe, happy, sane, and prosperous. Okay, we got to stay in the fight. We've got to stay hunkered down and we got to stay revved up and we have to know that it's all gonna get better. But anyway, so are you digging my fedora? Are you digging my fedora? You digging my t-shirt? Look at it. Look at my t-shirt. My Michael Jackson t-shirt. I went to see Michael Jackson with Michael the movie with my grandson yesterday, Thursday the 30th, and so I'm wearing this in his honor, Michael's honor, and so I got a lot to tell you about the movie and how I saw Michael at Sony Pictures when I was working for Sony Pictures, and I had a conversation with him, and also how I was. I was able to attend Motown 25 when I worked for Motown Productions. So, and if there's enough time, may not be enough time, I'll tell you about the stand up routine that I did um, um, after Michael's passing in June of 2009. It was not funny. It was more about how my reactions to it were funny and how I reacted around the people with the people around me. So, first of all, the movie. Jaafar Jackson did an absolutely superb job, and that was my grandson's term. Uh, Superb. He embraced uh, his uncle exponentially. I just loved the film. I mean, the music, the singing, the dancing. I danced. I didn't dance. I danced in my chair in my luxury lounger at the theater, but the music was invigorating and it was all consuming and it just really brought back memories to me when I was about 11 years old and I had such a massive crush on Michael. I mean, it was inundating. Okay, I mean, he was going to be my husband. He was going to be my husband. And so I wrote him a letter to let him know that he was going to be my husband. But thank God I did not sit around and wait and hold my breath to receive an answer from my marriage proposal because if I had it, I would have been unalived and very, very dusty right about now. I mean, really dusty. Okay, so, but anywho, I'm glad I didn't do that. But back to the movie. As you know, and as you probably heard, Janet was not in the movie and she wasn't even mentioned. It was like she didn't exist. They didn't have a sister. Um, and apparently she declined the invitation to be a part of the movie for the reason that she said, who knows, I didn't talk to her. We weren't able to have lunch the last time I checked. She wanted the movie to focus on Michael and not take any attention away from him, so she declined the offer to be a part of the movie, and that's fair. So anyway, back to the film. Joe Jackson was a mother effer. He put the effer in mother, okay? He was loathsome. But that just means he understood the assignment and Colman Domingo did what he was supposed to do. Colman Domingo did what he was supposed to do. He put his foot in the whole thing, okay? But as we all know, Joe was abusive physically and mentally, and there was a scene where he did beat Michael with the belt, and it was explicit. It was explicit, and as I'm sure some of you black folks know how you used to get beat with the belt, and it was on that level. And he also was and I felt so sad for the young man who played young Michael. His name was Giuliano Valdi, and he was just so good and so honest and vulnerable. And when he cried, I was just, oh my God, poor baby. Poor precious baby. So, but Joe was also mentally abusive by calling Michael Big Nose. Michael didn't have a big nose. Michael had a cute little nose and beautiful lips. But, hearing that constantly from your father who's supposed to love you, I think was the precursor to him having so many alterations on his nose, which resulted in him probably barely able to breathe because his nostrils were so small. So Nia Long was very complacent and seemed to sleepwalk through the role. as far as I was concerned. But Katherine Jackson obviously loved her son, knew he was special, was his friend, his confidant, hung out with him, watched movies with him. I mean, she was his anchor, his friend, and they had a very, very, very special bond. So thank God for her. But Nia Long's portrayal was very bland as far as I was concerned. Wasn't horrible. It just was lukewarm. Anton Fuqua, like I mentioned, put his foot in it, and it was important to see this vision from him because, as you know, he is his usual fare is He-Man, bravado, boisterous, and bloody. But in this project, I saw passion, power, pain, and emancipation. As you know, he directed Will Smith in Emancipation, but Anton Fuqua did the damn thing in this film. Personally, I don't think a sequel should be made because the last part of Michael's life was unfortunate, and unfortunately, he made a lot of spectacular mistakes and spectacular and not in a good way. And I'm not sure I would be really interested in seeing that part of his life on the big screen. I really don't want to see that. Michael was extremely troubled and fragile and weary and weak and tired and didn't seem like he was fully lucid. He seemed like he was in a fog and probably was with all the medication and lack of sleep and all the kinds of things and financial worries and all that. So I really personally would not want to see that portion of his life. So, but a knowledge nugget: did you know that Michael used to post positive affirmations all over his room and also in his workroom and when he was writing music and getting ready to record and whatnot. So it reiterates the fact that my point that affirmations are a powerful tool. So you should use them however you see fit. Post-its on your bathroom wall, post-its in your bedroom, wherever, in a notebook. But affirmations are very, very, very important. So it was a fabulous film, and I probably will see it again. And I just had a good time, and I just sang, and my grandson had a good time, and he's way young to know. He knew Michael, he knew the songs. I mean, he knows of Michael, and he knows the songs, and we were singing along. We had a good time, and it was a matinee, so the crowd wasn't as lively as I wanted, but that's okay. I made up for it. So I wanted to tell you really quickly about running into Michael when I worked for Sony Pictures. I worked for Sony Pictures in Los Angeles, and I remember I was working in the legal department, and I remember I was getting ready to go to lunch, and I was walking down the hall, and I saw this figure, tall gentleman, black pants, tall, thin, black pants, white shirt, and he was leaning against a wall, and his back was towards me, and had a hat on, black hat, and I said, "Is that Michael? That can't be Michael. Where's his people? Where's his security? What is he doing out in the hallway? Why is he leaning against the wall?" Woo-hoo-hoo. I mean, but then again, this was Sony Pictures. That was his music uh, place where his music was, the catalog was. I mean, when you work in the entertainment industry, when you see other luminaries and celebrities, it's not a big deal. So what I did was I did not want to startle him. So, and his back was toward me, and there were no other people around. So I jiggled my keys. I had my keys in my hand. I jiggled my keys, and he turned around. He had on a mask, and his eyebrows went up like he was smiling. And I said, "Well, hello there. Good afternoon. How are you doing today?" And he says, "Oh, I'm just fine. Thank you. How are you?" I said, "I'm doing just fine." And I smiled, and he smiled. I said, "Well, you have a very good rest of your day, okay?" "Oh, I will. Thank you so much. Take good care." Like, that was my Michael Jackson meeting, and it was just fabulous. And that's what happened. And that was Michael. And it was a good thing. There were perks for working in the entertainment industry, and I miss it so much. I do. But anywho, and there, who knows about life, and it's not unlikely that it might not happen again. It could happen again. So, well, anywho, it's getting a little late. I want to keep these under a certain time, and it's time to get off Memory Lane Boulevard, and he's on back down the road. He's on back down the road. Get it? He's on down the road. So I want you to take care of your lovely self, and you know the drill by now. By now, like, share, subscribe, comment, all the good things, and stop by Big Age Love with Robin R. Robinson. I love it and I appreciate it. And next week, hopefully, God willing, the creek don't rise and the problems I'm having with my Google account. Hopefully, I'll see you next week. But in the meantime, you be happy. You be happy. Be well. Take two. Take two, Robin. You want to be well, be happy, be blessed. Take it easy now. I'll talk to you next week, God willing. Enjoy your weekend. And remember, register to vote and vote, okay? Talk to you later. Bye.